Hello, Mr. Gheorghiu.
Hello, how are you?
Good, good. So today we have a lady, one of the best, or
Yeah,
the best
uh,
lady in
today
chess.
is something special because we try to show some very nice games from Judit Polgar. Judit was really something completely special. I mean, probably the best woman player in history, ever. She was very strong, very well prepared, and she accepted to play any kind of positions against everyone. I mean, even the best players in the world. I mean, we can try to show
Yeah. So
some
here
beautiful examples.
against the
We
world
start,
champion.
yeah, we
Yes,
start with Spassky.
yes.
Uh, I don't
Spanish.
know. Soon after the revenge match from Boris Spassky against Bobby, they played their match, I mean, a friendly match in Budapest, and to everyone's surprise, Judith won the match against Spassky, which is really a performance. I mean, Spassky was a very strong player. I mean, he was world champion and so, but she was the same level. I mean, we'll
Mm.
see the game and so on. So here in that game, everything is theory until a certain moment, which is very well known. You see the order and so on. And here, as we said before, if black castle is immediately instead of d6, after c3, black can play immediately d5, and we have the martial attack. You know, it's different. Now it's very well, analyzed and so on. It seems it's more or less even right now, the computer and so on. But in that time was less analyzed and a little bit dangerous for white. I mean, if white accepted this, But if black plays first d6, then is the normal variation, the main variation. So okay, after castle h3, knight b8, d4. This is the so-called Breyer variation for black. This with knight back in b8 and knight bd7. So okay, knight bd2, bishop b7. Uh, this is very, very funny. Black can lose immediately in this position if doesn't play instead of bishop b7, rook e8. It's unbelievable, but it's lost already for black. You see here, after bishop takes f7 check, king takes, knight g5 check, king back to g8, and knight e6, and black loses the queen.
Oh,
Yeah, this is a very nice trap in the opening, you see.
yes, yes, yes.
So it's possible. But of course, black is careful and plays first bishop b7, theory, instead of rook e8. Rook e8 is very bad mistake. All right, so, okay, so after bishop b7, knight, bishop c2, rook e8 now, of course, knight f1, bishop f8, knight g3. Everything is theory until now, you see. And here, I think g6 played, no? G6,
Yes.
b3, and d5. Again, everything theory. As long as I know, here Judith played in some other game before, she took in d5, and after e takes d5, knight takes d5, very complicated position, but black, is able to hold the line. It's not a special danger. Very complicated, of course. That was a game between Judit Polgar and Belyavsky, the Soviet grandmaster. And I think finally black won this game, very important game. And when they played this one, she played bishop g5. This is a small novelty. And after bishop g5, h6, the new move here is bishop h4. Bishop h4 looks a little bit strange because provokes the move
The trap.
g5.
Yes.
Traps the bishop, but white gives a piece for 2 pawns and very good attacking chances. Everything is theory. Now we know, but then when they played, it was some kind of a novelty. Only 2 or 3 games played before this. And probably she analyzed together with some friends, and they found that is an interesting line. And here, black took in e4, knight takes, and here g5. And okay,
You didn't trap.
white took. No, it was It was like this, yes?
Yes.
Ah, yeah, okay. So here, after d takes e5, white gives a piece. It seems that white gives a piece, you know. So black takes first in e4,
Yes.
takes, and okay, now takes in h4. But now white is able to take back the piece, you know, forced. So rook d4, and now depends. What can black play here, you know? There are two moves, queen c8 or rook e7, like in their game. Well, Spassky played rook e7. It seems it's everything theory, you know.
To defend.
You know, analysis from. And after rook e7, e6, everything is forced. Now you have to take in e6 and knight e5. And white takes back the piece, you know. But all right, it's very interesting if we look a little bit, you know, the other possibility. You know, the alternative is here, instead of rook e7, queen c8. And after queen c8, rook takes d7, of course, and now bishop d6. And it seems the rook is trapped, but the position is very open, you know, and it's very, very dangerous for black here. Even if white plays rook takes f7, we can see. It gives a rook, you know, I mean,
Yes.
they exchange. You take, and now takes in d6, c takes d6, and now very unpleasant move, queen d3. And, you know, after queen d3, very big problems for black. Because with the exchange down, white is threatening to take many pawns. And if he takes, for instance, 2 or 3 pawns with such a position for the king, white has tactical chances, you know, probably winning chances, really.
Yeah.
You know, the pawn d6 is very weak. The 2 pawns h4 and h6 very weak. And this,
And the
you
king
know,
very exposed.
if it's possible to give one check in h7, is already winning for white, you see. And okay, therefore black probably considered these too dangerous and played rook e7. Okay, e6 takes and knight e5. Now black is forced to give back the piece, but tries to have some initiative, you know, for the piece, you know. So now rook takes, queen g5. Okay, and here simply queen f3, and everything is protected. And white is threatening again something, you know. Now black has to take a decision what to do. Takes in d7 immediately or plays rook d8. If black takes, for instance, in d7, after knight takes d7, the position is also very bad for black because there are too many weaknesses, you see. Knight takes, and now rook d8. And now after rook d8, white can take in f8 with very strong initiative afterwards. I mean, takes, rook takes and queen c6, for instance, you know.
Yeah.
Threatening to take something, at least a pawn, you know. Or play more complicated, giving a check in f6, also very good for white, you know. Very good attacking chances and, you know, big initiative. So the position is very good for white in any case, you see. So, right, black played here after queen f3, rook d8 immediately.
Yeah, but here black cannot take this
No,
knight.
because takes first in g7 and then takes in i8 and loses the rook, you see.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Yes,
And
yes,
they
yes.
exchange up and completely winning for white, you see.
Yes.
And okay, rook d8. And now white has to play, and okay, took in g7, very easy. And now rook e1, of course, comes into play. Now goes away with the knight somewhere, and the pawn from e6 is very weak, you see. Therefore, white is probably already winning. Strategically, black is lost here, you see. So we have to see how. And here, very simple, what did he play? Knight g4, excellent move. After knight g4, attacks in e6. So what can black do, you know, here?
Yeah.
The problem is that after rook f8, the pawn from f2 is protected, you know, the knight from g4. And therefore, white has fantastic position here already, you know.
Yeah.
So he played queen g6. And now, again, a very strong move, queen f4. And now what can black do? The problem is, you know, the problem is that black has no moves. You see? He's attacking everything. The pawn from c7. I mean, after queen f4, and attacking in c7, in and h6, you know, both. is too much. And
Yeah.
therefore here, one tempo is enough to win, you see. So, okay, now check in h6, king g7, took the second pawn now, you see. The problem is that you can't play now rook h8. If he could play rook h8, is okay. But after rook h8, he's lost immediately. Queen e7 check, king takes h6, rook takes e6, and you lose the queen. With tempo, everything, you know.
Yes.
So afterwards is completely winning for white, you know. It's you have to see how. Okay, queen f6. Now it's very easy to take, you know, has to take. Now simply rook e2, protecting everything, you know, against the threat rook d2.
Yes.
If black could arrive in d2, there are a small hope to make, you know, to have some counter chance. But now it's too much because everything is protected at 2 pawns up for white, you see. So black, the only chance is to try to take back one pawn, the pawn c3. But now on the other side is too much for white. I mean, very big advantage for white. And now rook c1. Now white wins in any case. He could win with knight g4, check, everything wins. But g4 wins very nicely because now if he takes in c3, probably, you know, he took in c3, no?
Yes.
Yeah, and now h4. Now the pawns threaten to come very quickly, you know, in a few moves.
Yes.
And it's very dangerous because knight, rook, and 2 pawns win by force. You see, it's too much against the king. And now after rook d3, check. And now the problem is that if he comes to, king e7, of course. And now after king c7, Judit played immediately g6. Now what is the problem? Now if black comes to f6, normal.
Yes.
After knight g4 check, black can resign because he can't take the pawn because loses the rook after knight e5 check, you see.
So if he come to
King f6, for instance. No?
okay. Yes.
Knight g4 check.
Yes.
King takes g6, knight e5 check, and black loses the rook, you see.
Yeah.
If not, if it goes to g7, then h5 and wins, you know.
Easy.
The pawn comes. So after g6, king f8, okay. Took in e6, now it's much too much. Now white is threatening also knight f5, you see, knight f5 and g7 check, another threat, terrible.
Yeah.
So of course black would resign here, but he played first rook f3, and now again very simple, knight g4. Now if he takes in f2, loses a piece after king g2. After bishop takes there, king g2 attacking both, you know, the rook and the bishop, and finished. You see. So okay, so played there, and after king g3, I think black resigned here, no?
Yes.
Yeah. So it's too much, nothing to do. No? But very nice, you see, and very simple also, you see. Very simple.
Very straightforward.
When you see it, you see, okay, very simple, but very good technique, of course, no?
True.
Yeah. And against such an opponent, no? Spassky was world champion a few years before.
Correct.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Gheorghiu.
Okay, you're welcome.